What is going on, everybody? This is Gabriel Jones giving you a drop of sun any chance I get, and welcome to April. The spring season is officially rolling in at this point. There's plenty of warm weather coming this week, and I cannot be more thrilled. I finally get to wear my short sleeve shirts outside with no jacket whatsoever. I can't complain. And of course, with the spring season now fully kicking off, we got some brand new music to discuss here today. We have a pretty diverse selection to delve into this afternoon. Plus, of course, we have the artist on the rise, but most importantly of all, we have our brand new album. And this is coming to us from a rising star in country music. Her latest single, Choosing Texas, is currently topping the Hot 100, so it's more than fitting to focus this video on her. But speaking of Texas, I also want to use this video as an opportunity to raise awareness for a charity that I've been looking at. As you know, I'm still doing the Melting the Ice event throughout the month of April, and this time I want to spotlight the charity called RAICES. This is a charity that's located in Texas. They've been active since 1986, and they work tirelessly to help immigrants escape the various loopholes that are placed on them to make sure that they don't enter the United States of America. RAICES believes that everybody deserves to achieve the American dream, and you can help them achieve that as well if you donate some money. They care a lot about fighting the current administration. I'm sure a lot of my viewers do as well. So why not assist them in these trying times? You can go to raicestexas.org to help them raise money and give better lives to immigrants today. Again, that's raicestexas.org. Okay, with all of that serious discussion out of the way, I think I'm ready to discuss some music. I hope you've put the right lotion on your skin because the sun is up for the sum up. I am now discussing my second Ella of the year, and this time it'll be country style. We're talking about Ella Langley and her third studio album, Dandelion. Ella grew up in Alabama, being surrounded by a musical family and attending a Baptist church to build her skill set. She was raised on artists like Bob Marley, Pearl Jam, and Chris Stapleton before seeking out success in Nashville and releasing 2 albums. Ella really began to break out in 2024 when her collab with Riley Green, You Look Like You Love Me, reached number 30 on the charts and became a solid country hit that year. I was personally not a fan of that song. In fact, I included it on my worst list that year. But I'm sure plenty of country fans found it endearing. Fast forward to this year, and Ella was able to score a massive #1 hit in Choosing Texas, a tragic ballad about Ella watching the man of her dreams fall for another woman in the Southwest when she hoped to make him settle down in Tennessee. This song has topped the Hot 100 for multiple weeks, and has already reached platinum status in America. Maybe the success of Choosing Texas has to do with Miranda Lambert having a songwriting credit, but regardless, Ella is seeing a huge moment in the spotlight. With all of this momentum excelling her career, it'll be intriguing to explore the other tracks on Dandelion. We'll be returning to Ella Langley in just a few moments, but for now I want to give you my 4 to blast for the first half of April. These are singles that I think could do a lot to shake up the charts or really impress listeners, so I hope you focus up as I reveal them to you. So far, April hasn't seen too much action when it comes to single releases, but I think the crop that I have for today is enough to satisfy the viewers. So, with all that said, let's get into it. This is my 4 to blast. The first song on deck is Great Pretender by Kasabian. I can't say that I've engaged with Kasabian too much. I was too busy listening to Coldplay and Myles as a kid. But I have to admit that Great Pretender is a pretty decent jam. I love the quick tempo that makes you want to take in the light and feel free. The bass line serves as a nice backbone, adding depth and emotion. When it comes to the song's meaning, frontman Sergio Pizzorno describes it as a plea for people to embrace their inner selves, especially when you're performing in front of others. He says that imposter syndrome can hold you back sometimes, but you shouldn't treat it as your enemy because it helps you realize you're about to achieve something grand. While the song has color, you still detect this calming tone that does enough to relax you. As someone who has barely interacted with Kasabian at all, I can say that Great Pretender is some impressive work. The next song we're talking about is My Mess by Myles Smith. Another impressive entry in Myles Smith's catalog. The new single from him, My Mess, is supposed to be part of his debut album slated for June, and it takes on a more serious subject matter. Myles writes this song as a harrowing tale about a young boy who grew up in a highly dysfunctional family. I'm not too sure if he's recounting his childhood specifically, but if so, it's pretty courageous of him. Myles composes this as a stomping bar anthem, which he knows how to do extremely well by now. Easily the most inspiring part is when he sings the bridge, "My Mess, My Heart, My Life," which happens to be his album title, and you hear people around him chant the words as well, letting the singer know he isn't alone in past trauma. Myles Smith has become a welcoming presence in pop music, and I wish for his first LP to be a success. For our next entry, we have Bobby by Ravyn Lenae. Love Me Not was a huge sleeper hit for Ravyn Lenae last year, but now the question is whether she can keep that success going. She might have some real luck in that regard with Bobby. Using the same alternative R&B sound that she's known for, Ravyn sings about breaking off a relationship with a boy named Bobby and walking out the door. But she's constantly having second thoughts and wondering if what she's doing is just selfishness. She doesn't find any thrill in dating him, but knows that dumping him would leave him crushed, and she's left horribly confused. What really makes this song brilliant is the electric guitar melody, forming a catchy tune that could take a while to escape your brain. This song also has a classic sound to it. You feel transported back to the 90s with its wistful tone. I've been pretty disappointed that Steve Lacy hasn't appeared on the Hot 100 since Bad Habit, so maybe we should help his buddy, Ravyn Lenae, stick around, because we could see more tracks like Bobby define the music landscape. Our final song in the For to Blast today is Drinking Game by Warren Zeiders. Warren Zeiders has been gaining notoriety in country ever since Pretty Little Poison blew him up in 2024. This past week, he came out with the song Drinking Game, which captures more excitement than his other hits. He mentions how he always expects his girlfriend to walk away from the relationship for good, but they spontaneously revitalize it and start hitting up the bar for some alcohol. He compares their chemistry to a drinking game where you try to resist the temptation, but it eventually takes a hold of you, and you don't know how you got yourself into this mess. I'm sure this song will offer plenty of fun to country music fans. What makes Warren so unique is how much he strains his voice to give his tunes the right amount of grit. It all fits with the production that's just rich with electric guitars and tambourines. It's playful with its tone and has enough spirit to entice listeners to sing along. So Warren should feel proud of how he wrote Drinking Game. Be sure to give all of those songs a listen because I think they could do a lot to knock your socks off. I mean, I would absolutely hate it if Ravyn Lenae became a one-hit wonder because Love Me Not, while it's amazing, it's not the song that fully shows her potential. I'm still proud of myself for believing that will become a hit someday. Like, that's a W for me. But enough about my gloating. Let's get back to discussing Ella Langley's Dandelion. The success of Choosing Texas has been turning heads for chart watchers because it's the first time in ages that a woman in country has gained some real legs in popular music. After all, it has achieved staying power atop of the Hot 100. The last time that happened was with Kacey Musgraves in 2023, and that was merely her feature on Zach Bryan's I Remember Everything. Both Ella Langley and Megan Moroney have been able to shine through in a genre that's been dominated by men for many years at this point, possibly opening the floodgates for more female singers to try their hand at country music. Billboard writer Andrew Utterberger does a profound job at detailing this in his March article. Now, with all this said, I'm not sure if I'm totally on board with Ella Langley myself. She has accepted a spot on the Rock the Country event happening in July, which is being fronted by hardcore right-wingers, including Kid Rock, Jason Aldean, and Aaron Lewis. Like, she doesn't need to attach her name to something tons of lunatics have, like, come on. But I don't want to delve into that too much, since she hasn't actually clarified her political leanings. The discussion should remain on Dandelion, which I find to be a solid entry in the country industry. The title track could be seen as a statement from Ella, emphasizing that she likes to be seen as natural instead of pristine and manufactured. That sort of message is fitting for the overall record because it's the chance for Ella to show off her identity to millions of newcomers to her work. I can say that she knows how a good country sound is meant to be made. Plenty of tracks utilize heavy electric guitars and crisp drums. She can be aggressive like I Gotta Quit, or gentle like Loving Life Again, proving she has range. I even appreciate the touch of organs Ella adds on Be Her and You and Me Time. Many of her tracks have the same typical subjects you would expect from Nashville artists. She focuses on troubling communication with her partners and resorting to heavy drinking to ease her pain. But I have to admit, there are some interesting turns the LP takes. Speaking terms, for example, is Ella writing about her relationship with God, how she's fallen out of step with praying because of how complicated life has become, but how she can always find her way back to him, even if he doesn't immediately respond. Something Simple details how she'd love to settle down in a small town in the countryside, even if she does relish the glamorous life. She even calls out patriarchy on It Wasn't God Who Made Honky Tonk Angels, saying women always have to take the blame and marriage is failing, you know? At least there's that. On the whole, I enjoy the songwriting Ella Langley's album is offering. While I find a few of her political choices very unwise, I feel she has the chance to prove herself as a generational talent. Ella, I hope you make the industry proud. And please, avoid the Nate Smith Club, okay? Do us all a favor. There's no telling what Ella Langley's career might look like a few years from now, but I do think that Dandelion has some unique quality to offer. But yeah, I think Ella should find better ways to promote her music than joining the Rock the Country events. Like, I'm sure an interview with Ryan Seacrest would work just fine. Come on. So, to close out the video, I'm gonna give you my artist on the rise for the first half of April. This is someone that's been working in music for quite some time, but I think deserves their breakthrough moments in the industry, so I cannot wait to discuss them. This artist has worked on a crap load of instrumentals in the past, but is now delving more into lyricism, so now is the chance to spotlight them. So, why don't we get into it? My artist on the rise for the first half of April is A Cloudy Sky. A Cloudy Sky was born as Sky Cothery in 2002. He originates from New York and grew up listening to electronic music, including Skrillex, of course. While always having an interest in animation, he would eventually launch his music career starting in 2018. He clearly experimented a lot with instrumentals when he was first getting started, and you can hear just how much dubstep influenced him. You can also imagine him composing scores for video game soundtracks. One of the newest singles from A Cloudy Sky is Algae, a song where he contemplates on leaving a girl he's built a close romance with, but in the end chooses to stay because it's him breaking the habit of pushing others away. It also builds on production of wondrous rock compositions. The verses take their time to soften you, but then we go headfirst into a chorus of epic guitar melodies and splashing cymbals, complete with a kicking solo during the bridge. If you're a huge fan of EDM and rock, then you might want to think about queuing up A Cloudy Sky. A Cloudy Sky seems to have had an interesting journey up until this point, and perhaps he could do a lot to impact the rock charts, so I recommend visiting his streaming pages, like for real. But with all that said, we are wrapped up here. Thank you guys so much for joining me on another edition of the Sum Up. I had fun with this one, I hope you did as well. I'm curious to see what the rest of the month is going to bring in terms of music. Hopefully it becomes a little bit more exciting. This month is a little bit slow, but I am anticipating a lot of great releases in the next 2 weeks. And of course, don't forget to visit RAICES.org to give your donation, alright? Tons of immigrant families have been suffering for the past year or so, and I think it would be great if you gave them your support. In the meantime though, if you guys want to follow me on social media, be sure to check out my Blue Sky, my Twitch, and my TikTok. Links will be in the description, and that's where we are wrapping up for today. My name is Gabriel Jones in the Sun Baby City, but I hope you were able to soak up those drops. Take care.